Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. Tonight our question comes to us from Lady Onako. And Lady Onako asked me to revisit a subject that we've dealt with before in the vlogs, but which perhaps bears revisiting. And that is the relationship between the ideas of reincarnation and haunting. And I think that the first place to begin this conversation is with our definition of haunting. And haunting, I think, can be attributed to two distinct factors, arguably more than two, but the two that we'll deal with. The first is the spirit that has not crossed over, the spirit that is caught in emotion, sometimes fear, sometimes regret, sometimes love, sometimes confusion, because sometimes when people die they don't really know that they have died, and this may prevent them from crossing over in a speedy manner. This kind of haunting is a ghost, and with this kind of haunting, the appropriate thing to do is to help the spirit to realize that it is trapped between the worlds and to help it to cross over. The second kind of haunting is energetic in character and doesn't really involve an aspect of the soul. It's more like a recording. Every time that things happen, they leave a certain imprint. And very traumatic events will sometimes imprint the location where they occurred, and people who are sensitive to psychic energy may perceive those emotions, and they may perceive it as being a haunting. When you hear about famous people haunting particular locations, it's often this kind of energetic recording, and has nothing to do with the spirit of that person whatsoever. This kind of haunting is characterized by being the same every time. It's like a replay of events, which is exactly what it is at an energetic level. It's kind of stuck in the energy, and if you wanted to dissipate this kind of haunting, what you would need to do is to ground that energy and to cleanse it. It might still have a connection to the soul that experienced it, but it is not the same thing as a ghost, which is a soul that is trapped between the worlds. With an energetic recording, the soul has most likely crossed over long ago. Now, we also talk about ancestors. And an ancestor is a spirit that has crossed over and is completely at peace in the Summerland, but is still concerned with events going on with their loved ones in this world, often in the nature of a spirit guide, guiding those people, protecting them, and helping them from a higher place of being. When we talk about ancestors, we're talking about the higher self of the person. And when you're dealing with an ancestor, they'll sometimes be very different than they were in life, because again, it is the higher self that you're dealing with. Now, when we talk about reincarnation, the idea that the soul lives many lifetimes, we might ask, how can it be simultaneously a ghost and a reincarnate? How can it be simultaneously an ancestor and a reincarnate? And the answer to this is that time in the physical world and time in the spirit world are not the same. And what we perceive as time is largely illusory in the first place, but is very different from the experience of the spirit. And you might think of deity as being like a diamond, one stone having many, many facets. The soul is the same. It's the deity in microcosm. And a soul will also have many facets, and these facets can all be in play at the same time. Thus, you will find that the soul may have many aspects as ancestors in different areas. It may have a number of different incarnations running at once. It's much more complex than people give it credit for. The soul is not just your conscious mind going on. Your conscious mind is a part of the soul, which is in fact much greater. And the soul can have a number of different things running simultaneously because it is operating from a higher plane and therefore a more complex one. Our ability to understand this is limited because we're operating from a lower plane than the soul, and we can only bring through so much of that energy. So I hope that this helps to explain this idea, and until next time, may you blessed be.
Hello, I'm Danielle Young. Join me and Liz Hamilton every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on paganstonight.com for the Young Witches Show. See you then!